What up, Screen Fiends? I'm GB, and you're tuned in to Headz TV, where we like to discuss all the wonderful things appearing on your movie and your TV screens. In this episode, I'm going to give my review of Preacher, Season 2, Episode 6, titled Sokasha. Alright, so Sokasha, that's the name of the episode. I have no idea what it means. I tried to look it up. I can't find anything. So if any of you watching this know what Sokasha means, or if I missed something in the episode like a reference or a name, please let me know in the comments because it's killing me right now. I'm somebody that likes to look into the titles and deeper meanings and things like that. Even when I don't mention it in my videos, I'm always doing it. I usually try and mention the video, but you know me, I start to rambling and all that. All right, let me stop rambling now. Sokasha, this was a good episode, solid. Wasn't great, wasn't the best episode ever in my opinion. Definitely wasn't the worst, and it wasn't just okay. It was a really good episode. A little bit more action would have probably spiced it up to be, a great episode. Honestly, that's all that was missing was a little bit more action, in my opinion. But all in all, I really, really enjoyed the episode. So we get awesome scary stuff again from the Scene of Killers. You know, he's such an interesting character to me, just from his backstory and his powers, his capabilities, and just how scary he is. You know he's a tragic figure because we've seen his backstory, right? And, you really kind of want to like him, but you can't root for him because, number one, he's so scary, and number two, he's trying to take out, our favorite characters here, our main characters. So, it is what it is. All right. So we basically, after we left off from last episode, we get the Scene of Victor's daughter is telling the Scene of Killers where he can find Preacher, where he could find Jesse, right? And so he tracks, he goes to the apartment, he goes through this killing spree, just killing everybody apartment to apartment until he gets to Dennis's place. And and we just get awesome stuff from him. And the Graham McTavish does such an awesome job as the Scene of Killers that, he doesn't even have to speak, and he just says so much, you know what I mean? If you haven't checked out my videos on the Scene of Killers, I did one about his powers, one about his backstory. Definitely check that out. They're on the channel. Now, we also get Jesse, Tulip, and Cassidy doing a bit of research on the Scene of Killers, trying to find out who he was. Now, yeah, this was a little bit cheesy, how they're able to, how there's actually literature and stuff about this guy, whatever. I don't know. It felt a little bit cornballish to me, but whatever. It worked for the show, I guess. For the type of show that they're going and the vibe that they have. I always like a sense of realism to everything. Even a show like that's so out there like this, or American Gods. If you watch my American Gods videos, I had little complaints here and there about, when things take place in the real world, there has to be a certain sense of realism. Even when you're dealing with, gods and monsters, right? But it's still a fun scene watching them figure out everything. Now, you just think that they're, this is what they're doing. They're basically trying to find out who the Scene of Killers is and how they can stop him. Because the Word of God doesn't work on the Scene of Killers. At least not in the show. In the book, it does. So, sorry, spoiler for the book. I shouldn't have did that. I apologize. Alright, so, they figure it out because they go back to the apartment. Scene of Killers is ready to just destroy everybody. And Jesse makes a deal. Jesse tells him that he'll get him a soul, which will be able to get the Scene of Killers into heaven. Now, I don't know if it would have been as simple as that, as just a soul to get into heaven. Seeing as who the Scene of Killers is and how he escaped from hell and all that, you would think that it would be more than just a soul that, it would take to get him into heaven. But we don't even know if Jesse was right about that, I think Jesse is just trying to basically con the Scene of Killers, and that's what he does. Because Jesse goes and obtains the soul in a great, great scene. Alright, so we throughout the episode, there's little snippets of this Asian guy collecting what, they don't tell you blatantly it's a soul right away, but you kind of glean that from watching it. And they're selling these souls. Now, who does he work for? Whatever. We don't really know any of that. We just know that the Japanese have cornered the market on souls. Now, how does Jesse know about all this? I'm not going to spoil it because they're obviously going to tell you on the show. But I know. It has to do with the people who raised him. So, note that, he's in New Orleans. There's heavy black magic, voodoo vibes in New Orleans, if you've never been. And it's going to all tie into that. So I don't want to spoil it in this video. Once they start talking about it more in the show, I'll talk about it more in my videos. So, but just know that it has to do with Jesse's backstory, which I've been saying since episode 1 we were going to learn more about this season. But, the season's almost over. 4 more episodes left. So they need to do it soon, or else we ain't getting no answers till next season. But I'm confident that we'll get more answers to Jesse's backstory before this season is over. So he basically goes to hijack a soul. Not basically, he does, right? He goes to hijack a soul, finds that none of the souls match the Saint of Killer's soul. Now, I don't get how they could get a sense of his soul from the bullet. I guess anything that you touch or interact with, maybe you leave traces of your soul on it. I don't really get that, and I don't think that's ever explained in the books either. Oh, but maybe it's because the Saint of Killer's weapons are special weapons. If you don't know what I mean when I say that, watch my videos on the Saint of Killers. They're called The Saint of Killers Explained, Part 1 and 2. So he finds that none of the souls that the Asian fellow has are a match. So he tests his own. He even tests the Asian guy's soul. No match. So he tests his own soul. And, of course, it's a match. I didn't even see that coming or guess that while we were going through it. I thought it was going to end up being the Asian guy's soul. Or he was going to bring the saint the wrong soul, and something terrible was gonna happen. A soul that wasn't a match. I like how the souls are like blood types, where you need like a certain match in order for it to be used. Because we see it used to bring the lady that was like, I guess she had dementia or Alzheimer's. The Asian fellow brings her a soul, piece of a soul. She takes it, and then she becomes coherent again. So we see what the power of the human soul is. I love this idea, just making it all grounded and real and not so much mystical. It's like a biological thing. I like that a lot. Alright, so he brings him the soul, he takes the soul, and you can see that the Saint of Killers feels something from it. Now, how does Jesse know this part about the Saint of Killers and the soul? Well, from the research we hear on the audiobook that Tulip is listening to, that, he was basically a man without a soul, right? So Jesse puts 2 and 2 together, and that's why the word of God doesn't work on him, because he has no soul. So Jesse's master plan had nothing to do with getting the Saint of Killers into heaven. Let's just get that out there right now. Nothing to do with it at all. So his plan was to hopefully get back there before Saint of Killers kills Tulip and Cassidy, and give him the soul. So he does that, and then now the Saint of Killer has the soul, but now the word of God works on him. And Jesse uses it, makes him kneel, makes him get rid of all of his weapons, which was awesome, awesome stuff. And you see how angry it makes the Saint of Killers. I feel like it should have scared him a little bit, and it didn't seem to scare him, because he's never been, been in that position before, right? But still, it was done fantastic. I just loved it. It was great. Now, I know I skipped some stuff. I'm just going to talk about it at the end real quick. I love Tulip. I love Ruth Negga. She's awesome as the role in this role. I just love her. Her and Cassidy together are just great. So, we get this scene where the Saint of Killers almost kills Tulip, and Cassidy goes in to help, and he gets his fingers chopped off, and he's got these little nubs the whole episode, like his fingers are growing back. That was awesome. But, you know, the highlight of Cassidy in this episode, Dennis is Cassidy's son. Mind blown. It makes their relationship that much sweeter. That's why Dennis is a dick to Cassidy. Because Cassidy, you know, is probably been a shitty father. He even says, you know, with me as his dad. I just love that. I didn't see that coming. I did not expect that one bit. You know, there's a lot of explaining to do. Does that mean that Cassidy got someone pregnant before he was a vampire? Or are vampires able to get people pregnant in this world? I don't know. Maybe I'll do a whole video on that. But I loved it. It was a good episode, man. It was really, really good. The information-wise, it was a great episode. Just overall, I thought it was just, like, really good. So, and I'm really excited to see what happens next. Show is awesome. It never really disappoints. Like I said, and then to end it off, I'm sorry, to end it off, Jesse locks the Saint of Killers in an armored car and dumps him in a swamp. Of course, the Saint of Killers will be back eventually. How? I'll leave that up to you to figure out. I find it odd that he's so strong and so powerful and can do all these things like teleport and stuff, but he can't get out of the truck, the armored vehicle. But maybe Jesse, whatever Jesse said to him in the Word of God is like, you know, makes it so he can't get out. Maybe the soul makes his power weakened. I don't really know. Maybe because he doesn't have his hand cannons. I don't really know. But I hope we find out. I'm really anxious. Alright, so that's it for this one. Sound off down below. Let me know, like I said, let me know if you know what Sokasha means. Let me know what you thought about the episode. Any of your opinions on what went down. If you're still a little puzzled about the Saint of Killers, like I said, check out my Saint of Killers videos. And don't worry, I will explain Jesse. I just don't want to explain it before the show explains it because, you know, I mean, I don't want to spoil it for you guys. It's funner to see it unfold on TV. But maybe I'll just do it with a spoiler tag or something like that. But like I said, sound off down below. Anything Preacher related, definitely want to talk about it. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe as it helps out the channel as well as my own confidence. And thank you for watching. Always appreciate it. You guys have a fantastic day. And I will see you next time.